Dreaming of becoming an IAS, IPS, or stepping into another major civil service role? Well, you are definitely not alone. Every single year, countless ambitious minds set their sights on what is arguably one of the most prestigious career paths in India. But before you can conquer a mountain that big, you need a map. Welcome to today's Explainer.
Now that question might seem simple on the surface, but the reality? It's incredibly complex. Before you start your prep, or honestly, even before you buy a single textbook, you've got to deeply understand the exam itself. We're talking syllabus, strict eligibility criteria, financial costs, and exactly how long the whole process is going to take. Going in blind? Yeah, that's just not an option.
All right, let's just dive right into this. We're going to break this down into 5 key steps today. Understanding UPSC and the careers, eligibility and costs, the 3 examination stages, timeline and competition, and we'll wrap it up with your preparation roadmap.
Starting us off with Part 1, Understanding UPSC and Careers.
You hear these acronyms thrown around all the time, right? So let's get the terminology totally straight. UPSC stands for the Union Public Service Commission. Basically, think of them as the overarching central agency responsible for this entire process. Now, the actual test they conduct for these specific roles, that's the CSE, the Civil Services Examination. So the UPSC is the organizer, and the CSE is the main event.
And this right here is the reward for all that intense hard work. These are the major career opportunities waiting at the finish line. We are talking about the IAS, the Indian Administrative Service, the IPS, the Indian Police Service, the Indian Foreign Service, the IRS or Indian Revenue Service, alongside several other highly respected civil services. This lineup is exactly why the stakes are so incredibly high.
Moving on to Part 2, Eligibility and Exam Costs.
Okay, before you can even apply, there are some strict baseline criteria you have to meet across 4 main categories. First up, specific nationality requirements. Second, a baseline educational qualification. Third, there is a very strict age limit. And finally, a cap on the actual number of attempts you're allowed to make. These aren't suggestions, they're non-negotiable hurdles every single aspirant has to clear just to get a seat at the table.
But here is a massive reality anchor for you. These rules can and totally do change. The age limits, the attempt caps, educational nuances, literally none of this is set in stone forever. You absolutely must check the latest official UPSC notification for the current rules. Seriously, never rely on outdated info.
And that exact same rule applies to the examination costs. There's an application and examination fee for applicable candidates, though it's worth noting the UPSC does offer fee exemptions for specific categories of applicants. But again, just like eligibility, fees change. The latest official notification is your one and only source of truth here.
Let's get into Part 3, the 3 examination stages.
The CSE isn't just a test. Honestly, it's a grueling triathlon divided into 3 sequential stages. Stage 1 is the preliminary examination. Survive that and you move to Stage 2, the main examination. Clear that massive hurdle and you face Stage 3, the personality test, which most people just call the interview. You've got to conquer all 3 in that exact order to succeed.
Let's zoom in on Stage 1, the prelims. Frame this as your initial screening phase. It's specifically designed to filter out the massive pool of initial applicants. It's got 2 main components, general studies and the CSAT. You really have to prove your broad foundational knowledge right out of the gate here, just to earn a ticket to the next round. Now, if you thought prelims sounded tough, mains is literally a marathon of written exams. It's wild. You're tackling an essay paper, 4 distinct general studies papers, papers based on an optional subject that you choose, plus qualifying language papers. It's a massive, comprehensive test of your depth, your analytical ability, and frankly, your physical endurance.
Which brings us to Part 4, Timeline and the Competition. So what does a single attempt actually look like? Well, it kicks off with Phase 1, that official notification we keep talking about. Then comes Phase 2, the application window. Months later, you sit for Phase 3, the prelims. Fast forward a few more months, Phase 4, the mains. Past that, and you'll eventually be called for Phase 5, the interview. Finally, you reach the finish line. Phase 6, the final result.
And do you know how long that entire 6-phase life cycle takes? About 1 full year. Just let that sink in for a second. From the moment the notification drops to the day the final results are announced, a single attempt consumes an entire year of your life. It's an absolute test of sustained stamina.
And then there's the competition. The UPSC CSE is renowned for being one of the most highly competitive exams on the planet. Millions apply, roughly half actually show up to appear, and ultimately, the final selection rate often hovers below 1%. The competition is fierce, and your margin for error is essentially zero.
Finally, Part 5, your preparation roadmap. If you're standing at the starting line right now, here is your roadmap. Step 1. Build a rock-solid foundation with NCERTs and standard books. Step 2. Integrate a rigorous daily study of current affairs. Step 3. Analyze previous year questions to really get inside the mind of the examiner. Step 4. Practice answer writing relentlessly, because honestly, knowledge is pretty much useless if you can't articulate it under time pressure. Step 5. Take mock tests to simulate those brutal exam conditions. And Step 6. Revision, and then revise again. This systematic approach is exactly how you build the armor you'll need for the trials ahead. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to keep this in mind. UPSC preparation is a marathon, not a sprint, and truly understanding the exam is your very first step. Start with the syllabus, build those strong fundamentals, stay hyper-consistent, and always check the latest official notifications. You've got the map now. You know about the staggering one-year timeline and the fierce competition ahead. So the only real question left is, do you have the grit to take that very first step? Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.